Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I just got to listen to Anthony Irwin's podcast just now, or a good portion of it, to kind of get an understanding of where we were when he recorded the podcast, which I believe is probably about an hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago, with the Klay Thompson situation. Of course, it's been agreed that he would go to Dallas, but essentially what Anthony Irwin is telling us, and I encourage you guys to go check out his content so he can give you the real deal. I'm just kind of reacting to what he's saying, but essentially what he's saying is there's no deal in place necessarily, just as Chris Haynes reported that the deal is not close in regards to facilitating Klay to Dallas. Moral of the story, for what I'm gathering, is the Golden State Warriors don't want to take on any excess salary in a sign and trade deal. They'll facilitate him taking on the $20 million that we're offering, but they're not trying to take on extra salary so that he can make more money in a sign and trade deal. So Dallas is willing to pay him whatever they're willing to pay him. I think it was a 3-year deal, something, I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, they can't seem to get the framework together that Golden State would agree upon to sign and trade. They have the third team that's ready to do a deal. They can send Josh Green to Charlotte, which everybody wants to be first in this media business. So of course we see them do it all the time. They jump out ahead on things. Even in basketball games, they'll say a team has won a championship with like 5 minutes left on the clock just so they can be first. And this is when the media who's reported this may have kind of tried to do this in regards to this free agency process. Maybe something else kind of got in the way, and maybe they were trying to facilitate this with pressure, as the media is often used to do by certain sides of the coin. But whatever the case may be, this ain't done. There may be agreements, but not all parties that need to agree. Klay agrees, Dallas agrees, Charlotte agrees. Golden State ain't on board with this. So I guess right now what they're trying to do is figure out a way for everybody to get what they want. The problem is, according to Anthony Irwin, it doesn't appear to be a way that Golden State would agree to, so that Klay can get the money that Dallas is willing to give him, and so that there can be a sign and trade deal. So at the end of the day, he has chosen Dallas. So if anything, I would imagine if he has to take a $20 million deal or something less than he wants, he would take it with the team he agreed to, not double back and see about us. Because it doesn't seem like there would be any reason for him to be angry at Dallas for anything. Dallas is ready to make a move. It's Golden State that ain't really ready to make a move. So if anything, we wait on Mike Dunleavy on the Golden State side of things and the ownership there to agree to something that is being proposed. But here's where it gets tricky. At what point does Charlotte say, okay, I'm going to move on? Whatever the salary I was willing to do for a Green deal, maybe Charlotte says, you know what, I'm just not going to be available for that third team. As that third team, rather, anymore. Maybe we got to move on. We got other stuff to do. Maybe Charlotte says something like that. And that could really throw a snag in the deal, because then you got to try to find a third team. So this is holding up the market entirely, pretty much. Because you got 3 teams on the hook trying to figure out what's going to happen next. Meanwhile, Golden State has been signing DeAnthony Melton, I think, to a 1-year, $12 million deal or $11 million deal. I think it was 1 year, something like that. So these are the type of things that Golden State's doing. They're moving on from Klay, essentially, roster-wise. They're moving on. Here we are sitting here trying to make a deal with DeMar DeRozan. If we can, from what I understand, DeMar DeRozan is what's being reported. Now, I don't really trust these reports very much, but they're saying either DeMar's going to take a 1-year deal or a 3-year deal in a sign and trade. Problem is, for him, in my opinion, if he takes a 1-year deal, it's an expiring contract. You might not even make it to be a Laker through the playoffs, brother. That's the only problem with signing a 1-year deal. It's probably in my best interest to move you at the deadline and capture value for you, so I don't potentially lose you outright or have some crap like this happen next year. Now, the chances of him wanting to re-sign with the Lakers at the end of the year is probably high, but who knows if the Lakers are going to want him. The point is, you want to capture value. That's the name of the game for the Lakers. It's why we haven't done any deals, because throwing in any picks would otherwise make it so that we're decreasing our value in most situations. So that's what the holdup is for Rob Pelinka, as far as I can tell. If we were willing to throw in more equity on top of whatever salary matches we would make, then of course we would be able to have deals done yesterday. Deals would have already been done. But the reality is the Lakers are trying to be conservative with their picks, and teams know that. So in that being the case, teams aren't allowing the Lakers to really do any deals without first round picks, and that's what I essentially think is happening right now. Anything you really want, Laker fans, you can't get, because quite honestly, it's not. They're gonna make it so that it's not in your best interest to do it, because they know how desperate you are to make a move, because they know how much pressure is on Rob Pelinka to build around LeBron James in this short window of time. And see, I told y'all, this is why I didn't really love the idea of it being leaked that LeBron James wanted a deal done within a certain span of time before he goes off to the Olympics. Brother, that locks the market up. Anytime a player does anything like that, it has the same effect in a different way as a player demanding a trade. Now you've drawn the value away from your side of the bargaining table, because now the other side knows that they can lowball you because of that deadline or because of that demand. And they're going to, especially in a market like this. So that's why I'm like, look, Bron can feel that way, but the only person who needs to know that is Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka should not leak that, and Clutch definitely should not be leaking that. You know what I'm saying? That's the God's honest truth. And the Lakers nobody should be knowing that. If LeBron needs this to be done by the end of the week, or else he's not going to take the pay cut, the only people that should know that is Rob Pelinka and LeBron James. And the moment they start leaking that information, it gets used against them, and it makes it even tougher on Rob Pelinka. My understanding is that the Lakers were willing to make a sign and trade happen with D'Lo, which I applauded them for thinking they were not going to do. But D'Lo for Klay Thompson, they were willing to do something like that. Maybe even Jalen Hood-Schifino for Klay Thompson. I'm kind of glad that's not happening, and I hope it doesn't get back on the table. I don't want to do that. I'm not sending Golden State Warriors anything worth having. I don't want to do a sign and trade for Klay Thompson, especially after him turning us down like this. If we go back to the drawing board with Klay Thompson, it's going to be him signing outright if I'm controlling things. That sign and trade crap is off the table. Because now what I realize is that neither Klay nor the Golden State Warriors have the leverage to force us to do that at this point. So if we are acknowledging what our leverage is, then we ain't got to do nothing. We can send them back to stalemate. You know what I'm saying? Because that's essentially how this can end. If the Dallas Mavericks have to pivot away from Klay Thompson for whatever reason, he has to go back to Golden State. And that situation is going south because they would have ruined this. Not to mention everything else that he was unhappy about. So that situation is sour. So knowing that situation is sour is the same type of leverage, that we're discussing in regards to, if I know certain things that make it so that you're weaker on the other side of the table, then damn it, I'm going to use that against you. And so as a Laker, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I ain't got to give nobody no sign and trade in regards to this Klay Thompson thing, especially now. I wasn't willing to do it before this, but now, if that thing falls through with the Mavericks, bro, go back to Golden State and work this situation out. And when you realize that you can't work it out, come sign with me for the vet minimum. Taxpayer minimum. I'm not even, seriously, because it gets to a point where you realize that the market's going to dry up on him. If Klay Thompson can't go back to Golden State and he can't go to Dallas, then what's the incentive for me to pay him what I was even offering him beforehand? You take whatever you can get. You take whatever I give you. Or find another place to play. Go to Detroit. I'm sure they need a shooter. And so, and that's how I think, because you didn't put me in a position to have that type of leverage, and I need to capitalize on leverage at all times. So I'm not in a position where I need Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson just put me in a position to believe that I don't have Klay Thompson. You see what I'm saying? Once the reports came out that he signed with the Mavericks, I had to pivot away as if I didn't have him. Now, if he comes back on the table, I still had to go through the fact that I didn't have him, and I lived with that reality for a certain amount of time, with the understanding that even now, he ain't coming to the Lakers. That is going to cost him. Not in the sense that it's the stress of it all, no, but in the sense of it's leverage, bro. I realized the reality of not having you come to my team. I went through the scrutiny of being called a bad GM because you didn't choose me. Now, if this situation falls through, don't expect for the same deal to be on the table. And I know Jeannie Buss loves to take care of her stars, so she may want to hold on to that, but there's a balance to that. Sometimes you can go too far with certain things You know, it's like, okay, we want to be the guys that take care of our stars, but maybe we went too far with certain things, and maybe that's costing us on the other end. Long term, people be like, yo, they take care of their stars, but on the other end, people be like, yo, these people are patsies. We can play with them, or they're not a serious organization because look what they're willing to do for their stars. Yeah, sign your podcaster, we draft his son. Like, there's no lows they'll go to keep up this aura of we'll take care of our stars, and in turn you end up hurting yourself while trying to provide that reputation. So it's like you got to stop that somewhere. When it comes to this Klay Thompson situation, if he doubles back, some of that money off the table, bro. I'm not dealing with you like that. Because at this point, you can get disgruntled with me, and then we can have problems just like you have with Golden State. So it's like, everything gets used against you in these situations, especially since the market wants to play hardball with the Lakers every turn. It costs the Pelicans half of what it would have cost us to get DeJounte Murray. Like, the market wants to play these games. I'm going to be so damn ridiculous when it comes to leverage with the whole field. They ain't going to like me at all. Nobody going to like me because I'm like, yo, any little thing, I see a hangnail and I'm calling it out as leverage. Like, I don't play with no games when it comes to this type of stuff if I'm in that office with Rob Pelinka. And the most important thing we need to stay understanding is that the market wants you to relinquish those 3 picks. It knows that your stars want you to relinquish those 3 picks. But when you do that, you give away all the leverage that you have to negotiate. Now people are going to lowball you even more. It's just like decreasing your energy. If you're trying to work, and you exert all of your energy, now the job necessarily doesn't get done because you've used up all your energy. These 3 picks are equivalent to that. I'm not using up all my energy when there's still more job to do. What I can do is try to buy myself some time to replenish more energy, and that's why I think the Lakers need to be in the business of trying to find assets that double in value. A sign and trade for Klay Thompson ain't doing that. He ain't about to double in value. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the Lakers need to be in the business of. Above all else, especially this moment in time where we're trying to improve this team, do not let value decrease in regards to your assets. You keep all 3 of your picks, you work within those margins, and if people don't like that, that's fine, because they don't know what it is that ultimately allows you to move in the long run. And why things are so difficult right now, as we've always talked about, is because we've given away so many picks and let so much value go away. It's why we can't move. It's why we're so stranglehold to these 3 picks and don't want to let go of them. It's because we've given away so many. They put us in this position to not have the leverage to make moves. So we could have had DeJounte Murray a long time ago if we didn't mortgage so many picks. If we could have turned Caruso into picks, if we could have turned Randall into picks, or just to capture the value of these players, we would have more to do more with. If we wouldn't give away KCP and a first-round pick, and what else would we? Kuzma. All this stuff that we threw into nothingness is why we're in the position we're in to be stranglehold on a day like this when we want to make moves. It's much easier to do everything the Lakers fans want us to do if we would hold on to our value in some form or fashion. And so when I look at people say Rob Pelinka's not doing his job, Rob Pelinka's doing what he can with what he has to work with. And he understands that if he does what you want him to do, this doesn't get any easier to move. It gets harder to move. You know what I mean? So, and plus you talk about that Laker tax. You know how hard it's going to be for him, any GM, to make any moves if we deplete ourselves of the little picks that we have? Well, you better bring in something you could trade for picks, and you better make sure it's healthy enough to do so upon the end of that process. Or you're going to be dead in the water. You're going to be forced into a rebuild. Like, forced. And so that's the reality of it. I think when it really comes down to it, I don't believe Klay Thompson is going to be a Laker. But I'm telling you, if he come back around saying, hi, guys, that whole situation, I'm sorry I didn't choose you guys, but do you still got that 4-year, $20 million on the table? I'm going to give him the finger and say, no, that's what I'm going to do. I got half of that for you, though. And that's how we got to play it. Because at the end of the day, we got to capture value, and we have the leverage to do that very thing right there. Matter of fact, I'm probably just pivoting away from Klay Thompson all the way around right at this point. It's like, yo, if DeMar DeRozan wants to take a deal on a good deal, I'm taking that. I may be able to get Klay Thompson on the back end he might have to take a significant pay cut to play basketball next season, as to which I may be able to have him and DeMar DeRozan. You see, that's how I think. Like, nah, and that's why you play hardball the way that I'm describing it. It's not to be mean. Mean is just a byproduct of what is required to do this. But the truth of the matter is, I need to get a discount anywhere I can because I'm already in the negative. See what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it. Like, I'm pivoting away from Klay Thompson. Like, yo, what's up with DeMar DeRozan? If there's an opportunity to do a deal with DeMar DeRozan, that is probably something I'm going to do. If he's willing, especially if it's not a sign and trade. I ain't doing no sign and trade with Chicago. Sign over here, bro. Let's give you a deal. Not the same deal I was going to give Klay because that's too much. It's for a guy that's not going to necessarily fit. But what I can do in this situation is put myself in a position to not let the market dry up any further while I'm waiting on something that doesn't likely look to get done. This Klay Thompson thing, yeah, you may be on the hook because it could fall apart. But as I said, if you sit here waiting for it to fall apart and it don't, that's your fault because you didn't have to do that. That's a choice and a mistake at that, especially if the likelihood is he's going to go to Dallas any damn way or have a stalemate where he wants to hold out with the Warriors or something like that. We'll be on the hook for the rest of the summer waiting on him to come around, only for him to come back and say, that 20 mil, 4 years on the table? Hell no. None of that's on the table, bro. None of that's on the table. You should have chose us first. You shouldn't have been greedy about the cash, bro. And that's what I would tell Klay Thompson. This is greed, low-key, and his spite for the Golden State Warriors is keeping him from being able to go to where he wants to go right now. It really is. It's his greed and his spite. Sometimes we get in the way of the blessing, man. You got an opportunity to play where your daddy played, where his number's up in the rafters. Your name is up in the rafters. And you don't want to come here for a few $1 million? I'd give it some prayer, brother. I'd give it some prayer. Because to me, you just passed up a great opportunity to be spiteful. To be completely honest with you, because it ain't a better fit in Dallas. Dallas look like they're making decisions that ain't in their best interest when they start letting go of Derrick Jones Jr. and bringing in whoever the hell that dude is from the New Orleans Pelicans. That's not a good deal. So that right there tells me, yo, this organization, I like their GM, but I don't know where they're headed. And you go in there, they're going to move on from Green to bring you in. That's two athletic forwards that play perimeter defense to bring in more who don't play perimeter defense when they already have a perimeter defensive issue with Luka Doncic. So it's like, are you sure they're making the type of decisions that's going to get you back to the finals? When you don't play defense, Luka don't play no defense, Kyrie don't play no defense, who the hell is guarding these perimeter shooters? They're giving away your perimeter defense. You better hope Max Prosper's ready to go. You better hope that, what's his name they got from Detroit is healthy. What's that dude's name? The one that played for the New York Knicks, who's been hurt since he got to the Pistons. Can't think of his name right now, but they went and got him in the Tim Hardaway trade. You better hope he can play some perimeter defense. And how he's going to do that from the bench when you going to be a starter eating up 25, 30 minutes a game? See, it's like their defense going to suck bad next year because of these decisions they made. Derrick Jones could at least play with the starters. The dudes you bringing in, the people you letting go, could play with the start. Dude you bringing in, he's a bench guy. Can't guard the perimeter from the bench. So it's like the Dallas Mavericks are putting themselves in a very strong position to be greedy. They already have plenty of shooting. They need more shooting. Oh, let me go get Klay Thompson. Keep him from the Lakers. Yeah, you do that. You do that. You do that. And remember, Mark Cuban ain't in charge no more. Mark Cuban, officially at the buzzer of the finals, relinquished all control of the team. So now you got a whole nother set of people trying to make decisions. For all I know, they're not good decision makers. And it's about to go down the other way. So, hey, you go over there if you want to, Klay. Chose them over your daddy's team. Chose them over LeBron James. You thought that was cute? Cool. Don't come back over here looking for $20 million 4-year deal from me. I ain't got no incentive to do that. We had an opportunity to make a trade. We were going to give up more to get you just out of respect for you, and you didn't want that. Cool. Don't come back around thinking the same stuff is on the table. It's not. Not with me. Not with me. I'll tell you that right now. Because the way I see it is, I don't think you're going to play that value up at all. 4-year, $20 million for Klay Thompson? I don't even want you to sign that. As a Laker fan, I don't want Klay Thompson to sign that. Hell no. I get it. He's a great fit. Hall of Famer, for rings, all that. I get it. But do I think he's going to play that value up from year to year to year? Hell no. 0 for 10 last time I saw him. Hell no. I don't think that's a great contract. So for me, I'm like, yo, man, Clay, you chose the Dallas Mavericks. I'd imagine you're going to wait this out. Good luck to you. We'll see you on the other side of this thing. But for me, I'm moving on. I'm pivoting to whatever opportunity comes around. If it's DeMar DeRozan, I'm going to offer him some money, make a deal. If I can get something going with Jeremy Grant in the Portland Trail Blazers, I'll do that. If I want to go toward Walker Kessler, I'll probably try to do that. The Nets, from what I understand, are interested in D'Lo. Maybe I can make a move and rope them in for a 3-team deal with one of those squads. But all this Klay Thompson crap, that hold on because it ain't quite done, nah, I'm not doing that with you. You chose them. And you let it be known that you chose them. So stay your ass over there and figure it out. That's exactly how I feel about that. So yeah, man, that's it, man. Look, if people were younger and didn't have knee injuries and all that, maybe I'd value him a bit more because I know a 4-year deal with him at $20 million, I could probably retrade for picks and stuff like that. But that's a negative asset, bro. I'm bringing that man to my team strictly for a fit because I know once I make a move to try to trade him off that contract, I ain't getting it. You know what rhymes with that. So that's how I feel about it, man. I don't want people to think for 1 second that I think Rob Pelinka is doing a bad job right now. Sometimes no movement is the best movement. And as I've said more than once, if you can't find nothing in the off season, you may be able to find something come midway point or somewhere in the beginning of the season. Just because people don't see that coming or just because people are going to throw a fit between now and then, it's irrelevant. Because when you drop the bomb of something that they like, suddenly they're singing all your praises again. I'm not tripping. If I can't make a deal right now, we'll start the season looking exactly like this, and I will be canvassing for the league for opportunities that may open up. Remember Drew Holiday when that opened up for the Celtics? You know what I'm saying? Stuff opens up, bro. So that's how I look at it. The market may not be favorable right now, especially when it knows I'm poised to do something right away while everybody's sitting on pins and needles ready to judge me for not. Give y'all the finger, man. Because at the end of the day, when I wait for the right time and the right opportunity opens up, I'm going to pounce and let y'all sing praises again. You're going to call me a genius. You know what I mean? It's just like double dutch, man. Anybody ever play double dutch? You're going to just jump in? No, you're going to time it. You're going to time it. You're going to time it. Then you're going to jump in and you're going to jump with it. You're going to jump with it. That's how the market is. Not like everybody wants to, let's go in now. Go in. No, you're off rhythm. You're going to mess up your whole situation. Be on rhythm when it comes to this market. So that's what I'm telling everybody, man. Be patient. I don't think a better GM could do a better job under these circumstances because you're lacking in value. And the market wants you to throw all of it in so you bottom the hell out. So it'll force you into a rebuild. What you're trying to do is work against that grain by holding on to LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Austin Reeves, and still trying to build something that's a champion when you didn't let so much of your assets fall off and then the value fall off. It wants to correct you. That's what people need to understand. The market wants to correct the Lakers. You should not be able to do what it is we're trying to do. So if you move conventionally, it's going to bottom out. If you move the way that other teams that haven't lost value are moving, then you're not going to have the same effect that they would have. It's going to cost you more because the market would like to flush you out. That's what it would like to do. And so if you don't read the market or you don't understand the market or you think it doesn't operate as a ever moving and ever changing entity, then damn it, you are going to be eaten up by that market. So when listening to people who don't understand the market, telling you need to do something because they're sitting there looking at their watch, they are off timing. They don't have no rhythm for this. They would be swallowed up by that market. Their teams would be bad if they were running them. That's the God's honest truth. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. I hope, it's all about temperament now. Because Rob Pelinka is going to be having people calling for his job. People are not expecting him to make a good decision going forward. They think he's making mistakes by not moving as if the market is dictated by his rhythm as opposed to him being on time with it. As long as the masses think that way, Laker Nation thinks that way, they're always going to want you to do something that shows them that you can move when they want it to move. But the reality is, just like anything else you time, if you hop in the wrong time, it's going to be bad for you. So that's what I know, man. Be patient. I think Rob Pelinka understands this stuff. We made a lot of mistakes leading up to this, which is why we're in this situation. We need not make any more mistakes to keep us further in a stranglehold. So anytime you want to suggest we give away picks, do understand that this is why it was so difficult to move right now. It's because we did give away picks. It's because we did let things go without capturing value. It's why value must be captured. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. And you know what? To a point, that if you copy and paste that to Chicago situation, it'll make a lot more sense when you look at their situation too. The fact they didn't make a lot of moves is because they did a lot of stuff they shouldn't have done that led up to that. If you want to be mad at Rob Pelinka for not moving today, what made it so that he didn't move today is past mistakes. Past mistakes, not anything that's happening right now. So that's what I want to explain to people, man. The market don't move just because you want it to. That's not how that works. And context is very important in regards to understanding how to evaluate what it looks like when the GM is doing the right thing right now. BDF 44, I thank you all for watching.